are going to we are going to talk about the best thing that money can buy. And it really isn't the house, the clothes, the car. It is financial freedom. And all it does is helps us think about money differently in order for us to get to where we truly enjoy the financial freedom. It's a money mindset. It is shifting our mind and empowering that mind to take control over money. Here are some inspirational quotes. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. What consumes your mind controls your life. You already know that. Money and success don't change people. They merely amplify what is already there. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life in its richness. Every day, I am just a tiny step closer to my dream. What is financial freedom to you? It could be, whenever I feel like I can go and travel, if I feel like I go and buy stuff, or at its core, never having to worry about when and how your next bill will be paid. For me, financial freedom was automating, set it and forget it, and not to worry how in the world am I going to pay this bill. It took a lot of work to get there, but once I got there, it was almost unshackling my ties to money in a positive way. I did not have to worry about things. I did not have to worry about paying my bills. And that gave me so much freedom. Try it for a month and see if you enjoy that sense of financial freedom. The other thing is there are only three basic necessities in life, right? Roof over your head, food in your belly, and clothes on your back. So what? It took me a long time, of course, but no one can take the roof over my head away from me. I am mortgage debt free. It required making extra payments. Every extra dollar that came in that was a gift went towards being mortgage debt free. Home ownership is how wealth is built in America. One of these lunch and learns, I will be talking about home ownership. But before you get to home ownership, there is a need for us to shift our mindset so that we think of money differently. There's also a need for us to understand banking, a need for us to budget, a need for us to build our credit. And once all of those things are in place, then we are mortgage ready. And in 25 to 30 years, that roof over your head will only be taken away if you do not pay your property taxes, right? So that is the security that over the course of our lunch and learns, I am going to be speaking to. Food in your belly. If you have a house, you have a backyard, you can plant everything and you can harvest and freeze it. So even when the price of food has gone up so much, All I have to do is open my freezer and pull out a surprise from last harvest, which is still going strong. Clothes on your back. Those of you who have heard me say, I never buy new clothes or new shoes. A shout out to Clothes Mentor. That is where I buy. It's not that I don't buy new stuff. I buy new used stuff. So I buy my clothes at Clothes Mentor. I buy my shoes there. I always go with a budget. To me, financial freedom is I have taken care of me now, of me tomorrow, of me during my golden years. And then when I go and meet my creator, I have not left debt for my children to take care of, but wealth for them to build more wealth. So maybe not in my generation, maybe 4 or 5 generations from me, the Rangans will be the Rockefellers, right? That is my vision. That is financial freedom, building wealth, building a legacy. And the legacy is not just creating the wealth, but teaching how to create that wealth. Here are some money truths. If you do not have savings, you could have the fanciest car, a Lamborghini, in your landlord's driveway, no gas money. Guess what? You'll be stuck. You're going nowhere. So savings is an absolute priority. Recently, when I was teaching this class, Clinton Times said, save until it hurts. Because everybody asked, how much should we save? And his response stuck with me. I love it. Save until it hurts. You're saving for liquidity. Remember, financial freedom is never having to worry about paying your bills. If you have financial liquidity, if you have 1 month of your income in your transactional account as a cushion, you automate your bills. Every bill gets paid on time. You don't have to worry about paycheck coming in to supplement, because when that tap opens, money goes in, but the well is always full. So it can be drawn on and you never have to worry about the well going dry. Liquidity, 1 month income is what you want to save for. Emergency. Emergency will never say, November 8th, 2022, I'm coming knocking on your door, right? So if there is an emergency, you need to have savings. And I say 3-month income is what you need to build for emergency. Then during an emergency, borrow from yourself. If you do not have savings, it is as if you own a landowner, free and clear, but no gas money, you're going nowhere. My slogan is be cheap and be proud. I am cheap. There is no need for me to impress anybody with the car I drive, with the clothes I wear, with the things I have in my closet. Nope, nope, nope. I am cheap and I am proud and I am a millionaire. If you have a beer budget, do not order champagne. Maybe you have champagne taste, and you can get that champagne taste by going to Goodwill, Clothes Mentor, etc., etc. But know and stick to your beer budget. Remember, no one plans to fail. It is a failure to plan that gets us in trouble. You can either be a millionaire or live like one. You just can't have both. Or many of us just can't have both, which is why I am cheap and I'm proud. Buying on sale is still spending. Unless it's in your budget, don't buy just because it is on sale. Spend money wisely. Every time you part with your money, somebody else is getting richer and you are getting poorer. When that happens, when you part with your money, think a little. Who is it you want to make a little richer? And make those decisions smartly. Have a relationship with money, and that relationship ought to be tight to have and to hold until bills or debts do us part. And finally, Joneses are simply not real. They are made up. Ultimately, the choice is yours. You are most likely facing a financial hardship right now. And if you are not, congratulations, you've done a remarkable job. But if you are facing a hardship at the moment, chances are you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, robbing Paul to pay the next saint, and along the way create gazillion saints. And that is a hardship. What over the course of my conversations with you, I'm going to ask you to explore yet another hardship, saying no to new things, saying no to your kids who want the brand new gadget and gizmo, saying no to entertainment, saying no to going out with your friends. That's not gonna be easy. So choose which hardship do you want to endure, and why do you need to make that choice is because you are working towards financial freedom as you determine what financial freedom is for you, because you can't get all that you want. There is going to be some give. You can be the haves, the have-nots, or the haves who have not paid for what they have. I hope you choose to be the haves. Pay yourself first because you are worth it. You need that peace of mind. Emergency will never give you a warning. Uncle Sam gets paid before you do. You know that, right? Aren't you yourself worth investing before your creditors get paid? A simple fact is that it is hard to learn is that the time to save money is when you have some. And really, even if you just simply cannot save, do what I did during my very early years in the United States. I didn't even have money to buy a piggy bank, but I did have a shoebox. Every payday, I would rip up a little piece of paper like this and write on it, I owe me, and whatever 10% of my gross income was, and I would toss it in my shoebox because I knew life would improve in time, and it did improve in time. And when it improved, since I'd learned to live cheap and be poor, every extra dollar went to pay me back. And boy, was I a predatory lender and charged me 1,000% APR. but it was me I was paying. Saving. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. If you are in that category, and I hope you aren't, remember Joneses don't exist. And even if they did, we would never be able to keep up with them. So if they did, forget about them. Start small. Even if you make a conscious decision today, every day I will toss 50 cents in a piggy bank. Every day, come what may. It'll only be $180 a year. But for 365 days, if you are practicing saving, 366th day, it will become a habit. Good habits take a long time, and our relationship with money and to shift it will take a little longer. So even if you want to start this small, and if you can't do 50 cents every day, do a quarter a day. It'll be $90 a year. Yep, $90 is nothing. Yes, $180 is nothing. But what you are building is something more than the money, because it's the mind that is the most important. And the mind needs to be taught to save. Avoid paying fees, the ATM fees, late fees, insufficient funds fees, overdraft fees. All of those fees add up. Look at your account, bank statements, credit card statements to see what is it that you are spending your money on. Turn that saving into savings. Money is fickle. It will always find a way out of your pocket. And therefore, you say, why do I even try when I save? I make sacrifice today, I save, but something comes up and the money is gone. That is because money is deciding what to do with it, not you. What you are going to do is put the savings in that shoebox and name it and say, I am saving for car repairs. So now the money knows that you are saving it for car repairs, or I am saving it for home ownership, or I am saving it to start my own business, to go to school. You tell the money why you are saving, and the money will know and respect it. Put that money in that shoebox, and every month diligently make a trip to your favorite bank and deposit that money in that account. And in your mind, even online, you can name accounts. Name that account. Very important for you to decide what you're saving for and name it. Critical. Otherwise, money is going to decide what to do with it. Become so financially secure that you forget it is payday. Pay yourself first. Remember, it's really not even first because Uncle Sam got paid first. So pay yourself second. How much? 10%. In 10 paychecks, you will have that liquidity. You will have 1 month's income saved. And you will be able to forget that it is payday. Save it into a savings account. Name that the liquidity fund. Make all your bill payments from a checking account. Transfer money or link your savings and your checking, but Have the reason I say savings account because that earns a higher interest. Sure, right now the rate environment is that the interest rates between a savings account and a checking account might only be 0.03%, 0.05%, but rates are going to rise every a quarter every time that they are raised. When I came to the US, savings accounts were giving you 7, 8, 9, 10%, and money that you borrowed for mortgages was also 8, 9, 10%. So I don't see in the future that those rates are viable, but rates will go up definitely from under 0.05%. So keep money, liquidity in your savings, or keep all of the liquidity into your checking account from which all your bills are paid. If you cannot save 10%, try 5%. It'll get you 20 paychecks to get you to your liquidity fund. And remember, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs slowly, one step at a time. If you cannot save 5%, try a second job, part-time job, seasonal work, Uber, Lyft, Prime, whatever, but try and build up savings. It's a hot market at the moment, so you could easily get yourself a job. If you can't get a second job for any reasons, health, etc., fear of the pandemic, you're high risk, try to give up something that can help you save 5 or 10%. Forgive your past. You may have done things differently and you might be kicking yourself. Stop kicking. Forgive your past. That past taught you wonderful things. Embrace it and learn from it so that if you know better, you will do better the next time. Focus on your future, but never forget to act at the present moment. If you have hit rock bottom, remember there's only one way to go, up. If you have dug a hole halfway to China, stop digging. Until you invent the time machine and go back in time to change the past, you have to learn to live with it. And remember, with the bad, there might have been little bad in your past, but a whole lot of good. Focus on the good. Change your story. I will thrive, not I will survive. More money at the end of the month, not more month at the end of the money. Financial security is important. You could have said, I don't make enough to save. So what's the point? Spend it all. But if you train your mind to think financial security is so important that there's no elevator to success, it's one step at a time. So this day I could only save $1. Next week, I'll see if I can do better. The week after that, a little better. Step by step by step by step, I will save. So even $1 is a saving. It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. That's important. Somebody said, money is the source of all evil, and I need it for the money to do some good. God, good saying. So I spent it so generously on others that people started taking advantage of me. And now the same thing. How do we make it become good? I want to help others. The generosity of spending on others was, I really want to help others. So instead of opening my checkbook and giving out money and being taken advantage of, okay, what is it that you need? Let's see where the resources are. Let's go and get those resources together. You are helping the other person. And remember that quote, you don't want to just give a fish, but you want to teach how to fish. So I want to help others rather than I want my money to do good. So I'm doing good, but I want to help others. What consumes your mind does indeed control your life. Somebody came in and said, I cannot make ends meet. I need to borrow money all the time. I am so overwhelmed and I feel just hopeless. It took us a long time to work with her, probably more than a year, before we were able to create a budget that worked for her. And that did include terminating the lease on time, looking and moving elsewhere where the rent payment was a little lower. Since she was getting paid every other week, we tried to make sure that over a period of time, she would be able to manage her expenses with those two paychecks. That way, the two extra paychecks that she was getting every year could go towards building her liquidity fund, her emergency fund. So it took a long time. We created a budget month one. It didn't work out. We figured out why it didn't work. So we figured to redo the budget the next month. We made phone calls, changed when bills will be paid simply because primarily there was cash flow problems. And then in time, the budget started clicking. And when it started clicking is when the ability to save more. I mean, good, any habit is addictive. Bad habits we know are addictive. So are good habits. But good habits to stick and become addictive need a lot of sticking to it. The habit of saving itself is an education. It fosters every virtue, teaches self-denial, cultivates the sense of order, trains to forethought, and so broaden the mind. If you think born poor, always poor, my destiny, I'm always borrowing, I feel helpless, hopeless, ashamed, and depressed. Remember, poverty isn't permanent. It is changeable. So it takes a village to raise a child. That same village can help the child when he or she grows up. All you have to do is ask for help, because I will thrive, not just survive. Here is another story. Young lady wasn't able to get her ID because there were some court fines, very tiny, under $1,000. But until that fine's paid, can't get an ID. Without an ID, there ain't nothing you can do. So ID was the biggest hurdle. And all she had to do was ask for help. and she got the help. She got her ID, went to school, lined up a job, and she is now thriving. So don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Ask for help now and pay it forward, because one day you will be able to help somebody else. No one plans to fail. Don't let money run your life. Let money help you run your life better by controlling it. Because we fail to plan is why we find ourselves in the financial distress that we are in. So what's the plan for that 10%? Pay yourself first. 1 month's income so you can forget it is payday. 3 months income so you can borrow from yourself when there is an emergency. Build savings for a planned purchase, car, home, small business, etc. Save that 10% so you can become a homeowner. Once you become a homeowner, to pay down debt, to renovate, etc., etc. To invest in IRAs, individual retirement accounts, to hire a financial planner to manage your wealth. So make savings a habit. When savings 10% is comfortable, remember, save until it hurts. Raise the bar. Raise the bar. You can't high jump if the bar is set too low. I said there are no Jones. No one is impressed. That's the bottom line. You can do anything and everything under your sun. If folk aren't impressed, they aren't impressed. If they don't care about you, they don't care about you. You can't make anyone care about you, period. So the Jones are not real. They do not exist. Even if they did, you simply can't keep up with the Joneses. Besides, do they really care about you? Do you care about them? And if you do, why? No savings, you're going nowhere. Audi, Lamborghini, whatever car, fanciest car, you're stuck, no gas money. You must gain control over your money, or the lack of it will forever control you. Where are you now? Do you know what you own, what you owe, a reliable, realistic budget that you can stick to, right amount of an adequate insurance? Do you have a will? Do you keep tax consequences in mind? If you're selling something, maybe there is a capital gains. If you're doing gig work, maybe there'll be a 1099. There will be a tax consequence of obtaining money. Do you know how credit worthy you are, what your credit score is? Do you always read all your statements and check for errors and fees? If not, get started. Change is not easy. Trust me, it isn't easy. Whatever you're doing right now is something you've become comfortable with. It's like I'm right-handed, writing my name with my right hand is easy. If I'm told to write my name with my left hand, it's going to be painful. I'll have all negative emotions attached to writing my name with my left hand. But the more I write with my left hand, the more comfort I will have with it. So try this. Write with your right, left. If you do what you did yesterday, can you expect a different result tomorrow? If you want a different result, you will have to make changes. Be prepared. Change will never be easy. And do this exercise. If Governor Carney orders an emergency evacuation, you have 10 minutes to leave your home, never to come back. The home won't be there. What will you take with you and why? What will you regret leaving behind and why? What were you happy to leave behind and why? And then why are we doing this exercise? Do this exercise. Next time I come, I'll give you tips on what folks say in answer to these 4 questions. Understand your relationship with money. Write down 8 to 10 words that come to mind about money. Underline the words that you think have negative meaning. And then go back to them and see how you can change them into something positive. 3 things that you are proud of about your relationship with money. 3 things that you are not so proud about your relationship with money. Which list was easy? What was a joyful experience with money? What was a painful experience with money? Once you start writing this down, it's going to help you figure out what changes about your relationship to money you will have to make. This is a very interesting article written by Donna Friedman in February 9th, 2007, Living Poor and Loving It. It really is my story of the first 3 years in America, which has become my rule to live by. There are 3 rules according to Living Poor and Loving It. Rule 1, have very little money. Now that does not mean if I'm offering you $60,000, you say, no, I'll take 30,000. If I'm offering you 60,000, take 60,000, but live on 30,000. So have very little money. Learn to live on less than you bring home. Live on it. Build your budget on this less income. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3. Rule number 2 will change your life if you let it. If you let it. So rule 1, do your budget with less money than you bring home. 2, live on it. 3, love rule number 2, and you are golden. There are 2 ways of looking at money, right? You have a relationship with money, which is a loving relationship, or you are on the verge of breakup with money. Figure out, where are you with money? What? And money is a person. Money is the 2-year-old. You are the adult. You, as an adult, need to decide what to do with money. And therefore, it is an obligation for you to think about your relationship with this 2-year-old. Is it a loving one, or I'm going to give my 2-year-old up for adoption? If you are in a loving relationship, any relationship with your child, with your spouse, with your co-workers, with your community, with your church, and with your money. If it's a loving relationship, then it requires you to constantly work at it. It's not one and done, right? No matter how strong the foundation is, every relationship will fall apart if you don't nurture it. So nurture your relationship with money. Be intentional. Take responsibility for your actions or inactions. Forgive and forget the past, especially any mistakes you made. Respect money, and it will respect you in return. Be self-aware. You always know right from wrong. I don't have to sit on your shoulder and say, no, no, no. You know what you're doing right with money, and you know what you're doing wrong with money. If you are on the verge of a breakup with money, decide if you want to stay together with money or not. If the answer is no, you can stop listening to me and continue your blissful life. But if you want to change that relationship and nurture and build so that it is a loving relationship, you'll have to do small steps. Set a small, very specific short-term goal, maybe by the next paycheck goal. Meet it. Reward yourself with a small gift of some sort. Be patient. With the next paycheck, set another goal. When you are no longer on the verge of breakup, then go back to the slide and start building that loving relationship, intentionality, responsibility, embrace, respect, self-awareness. That is what it takes to rebuild your relationship that is on the verge of breakup. And I'm talking only about money. I'm not giving you relationship advice, but I think it would work. Every time I fight with my husband, this is what I have to do. Tiny, tiny steps. A positive money mindset. If you have, you look for opportunities instead of seeing roadblocks. You recognize that every financial situation is fixable. Every financial situation. I owe Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam will work with you so long as you pick up the phone, you respond to letters, you use the low income tax clinic that we operate, our free attorney, Anthony Doring. We do not prepare taxes. You haven't paid your mortgage for a couple of months. You are in foreclosure. There are housing counseling agencies in the state of Delaware or across the nation who can assist you. You don't, you've been hauled into JP Court, go to JP Court. Every financial situation is fixable. Right now, most people have utility bills that are unpayable because they've gone so out of whack. Pick up the phone, call, and talk to the utility company. Get on a plan. See the value of asking for help instead of struggling silently. If there is one thing that the pandemic has taught us is trauma is real and we are all struggling. So it's not that I am the only one. I am not so special that I'm the only one in this entire universe who's facing this challenge. Many people are challenged. And when we are challenged, it's our job, our obligation to pick up the phone and ask for help. Help comes in wonderful ways. You've heard the story, right? About a very devoted, a human being who is caught in a flood and prays to the Lord, Lord, do not forsake me. Come the evacuation orders and he doesn't listen to the evacuation orders. Then come the boat people and he does not listen to the boat people. Then come the helicopters to pick him and he does not listen to the helicopters. And finally, as he is drowning, says, Lord, why did you forsake me? And the Lord says, I sent the evacuation team. I sent the boat people. I sent the air people. What did you want me to do? Seek help. And when help is offered, accept it with graciousness, gratefulness. That is what fulfills us. If you see somebody struggling silently, please offer them whatever support you can offer. Accept that even small steps add up to progress, even if it is slow and you can't see it. To your success, cheers. Find your core values. Focus on that which matters. Let go of all the other noise. Everything else is just noise. Meditate, get your focus into the right place. Your heart, your money, your work, your goals, your vision, your family, everything needs to be aligned. Remember, nothing stays broke forever. And even if it breaks, you can fix it. A picture says 1,000 words. Find a picture of your values. Place them where you can see it every day as a constant reminder. And if you don't have pictures, here are some examples. I want my money to grow. I want to secure for my legacy. I want a home, family, blessings. Keep that front and center. Stick it on the mirror, stick it on the refrigerator, everywhere. So it's a constant reminder that you are on a mission to buy financial freedom. That is the best thing money can buy. This programming has been brought to you by DCREC, the Delaware Community Reinvestment Action Council, and its affiliate, Money School. If you haven't visited Money School, click www.demoneyschool.org. There are any number of free classes offered by volunteer instructors. They are both in person and online. Become a Money School student. What do you have to lose? Give us a try. If you like what we do, we can transform financial lives. Thank you. See you next week.